there's two ways to use social media. One of them is to build a following, and one is to create connections and have conversations with people. Okay. Most people pay attention to the build a followers thing, and that's all well and good and important to a point. But the leverage that you get from building connections and having conversations with people is much bigger than the following piece will ever be. And it takes a while to build a following. So, and you shouldn't do it with, like, a lot of people will do the buying followers things, and that's a big disaster. I don't want to get into that right now. We don't do that. So knowing that it takes a while to build a following, you know, then you're just going to do the actions that will build a following. And that would be by posting engaging content, engaging with people who comment on it. Follow the, you know, the way that I teach you to post about creating engaging content inside Social Discover Me, that will help you create following. Okay, but it's not instant. Nobody's getting thousands of followers overnight. It's something that happens slowly. So it's just as important, if not more, that you focus on talking to people, having real conversations with people on social media and beyond, you know, and not obsess over the following you don't have. So here's how producers and studios use that knowledge and information. Okay, they will use it like, you know, if I was casting something, you know, and the studio heads might say, look, we need some promotability for this role. You know, this role, we want something poppy. We want, you know, so we need a name. Okay. So they would say to us, we need a name. We would find an actor of name value. Now, sometimes a name would be an actor who's got name value. Sometimes that would mean, doing what they call stunt casting, which has nothing to do with stunt people, but has everything to do with casting somebody from a different discipline, like an athlete, a singer, somebody of note that brings with them an audience already that will, you know, people will tune in for. Okay. And so when the studio says to the casting director, we need a name here, or we want to stunt cast this, you know, in the olden days before social media, that was what it entailed, you know, an athlete, a musician, or something like that, or a name actor. Now we can also add into that influencer or actor who has big following. Okay. So what I really want to stress here is that it's always been the case that producers and studios are looking for promotability. That is not a new thing. It's just a new medium. You know, that's it. It's just another type of that. It's nothing new. It's always been that way. The only difference is now you know about it. And now you have the ability to become that on demand. You know, meaning you couldn't become a famous singer, right? Like, or you couldn't, you know, become like, you know, the MVP of some football team, but you can create an audience for your own little self in your own little world, doing your own little thing. And that's a tremendous power that you have in your hands. The mistake that I see in this area is that, you know, if you get into an audition and they go, how many followers do you have? Which they don't often do this, by the way. Usually that's small time producers for small little movies doing it. But if they do that, the worst thing that you can do is go, well, I don't have any yet, but I'm working really hard on it. Right? You want to be prepared with an answer. Right? And you want to be proud of what you have. And if what you have is 52 followers, you go, I have 52 followers, and they're the most engaged 52 followers you will ever see. And I love them all. You know, just be proud of it and move on. Because understand that there, you know, all things being equal, if there were two actors who were identical, okay, not that that exists in the world, but in my alternate universe that I'm creating right here, right now, they do. Okay, you have two exact actors that are exactly the same. One has a following and one doesn't. Okay, they're going to want to cast the actor with the following because why wouldn't they? It gives them more audience, right? But the truth is there are no two actors that are identical. So that means the studio and the network and the producers are going to have to weigh their options. Well, do I want the actor who gave me the better performance here and who fits in with this role and is better with the cast, or do I want the stunt cast, you know, option here because this person has a following? Well, guess what? That decision is out of your control. There's nothing you can do about that. There's nothing you could have done, and there's nothing you can ever do. They're going to make that decision based on their criteria. You know, are they trying to, is this a small budget? You know, how much promotion, you know, how much money do they have for publicity? You know, is it going to really make a difference to them on their bottom line if they can get an actor that brings an audience with them or not, right? Those are things that you have no control over. These are things that are going on in the background behind the scenes. So just know that that's happening. It's actually not in your control. Take the steps every day to continue to build your following. Don't ignore it. Don't obsess over it. You know, focus on your 3 pillars and have that be a part, you know, in little bites every day, and you'll be fine.